Hi students, I just wanted to show you where to find the first paper, the literacy narrative, and just kind of explain a few things about how to do this. So you can find it in two places. If you go to content and scroll down to this literacy narrative, I apologize, it's kind of off to the side, then this is the assignment sheet right here, and you can click on that. Print it out and all that kind of great stuff. Or you can find it under course activities if you go to assignments and scroll down until you see it here under papers. It's going to look different. I apologize. I just realized it looks different under yours. So mine looks different because this is me setting it up on my end, but on your end, it will have on the first page when you click on it, it's going to have a rubric. So make sure you scroll all the way down till you see the rubric and make sure you know what the grading criteria is going to be. So this is also, I just wanted to kind of explain a little bit about how to read my assignment sheets and make sure you're successful with your papers. So I start out, I always have an explanation of what I want you to do. This is a really important place to start because you want to make sure you're getting kind of the basic idea of what needs to happen. So in here I'm telling you to tell me a story. So tell me a story about your experience with literacy. Literacy is also, another word for that is reading and writing. So you choose one of these questions below and you just tell me about it. So a good story is going to have, a beginning, middle, and end. It's going to have descriptive details. You're going to fully explain all of your ideas and have, a reflection on what that means for you. So here I have in here, make sure you describe something in detail using your five senses. That doesn't mean that you have to tell me, something that you smelled, you touched, you tasted, all those for sure, but be thinking specifically about them. Was there like a certain, picture that you saw? Was there a way that, somebody like had a perfume that smelled? So help me to be in that moment with you, whatever is the moment that you're telling me. And this kind of goes into the idea that this week you're going to write a zero draft, which means you're just going to take something, you're going to choose one of these questions and just write about it. You're not going to worry about grammar. You're not going to worry about organization. You're just going to set your timer for 20 or 30 minutes and you're just going to write until you're done. I'll post an example of a free write I did. I actually put in there blah 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 at some point, right? If I'm thinking like I need to add some research, then I will write in there, add some research here. This is the whole point of a zero draft, is just to get all your ideas down on paper. So after you take that zero draft, then obviously you're going to refine it, but that's where you start. You take one of these questions and you just kind of begin to answer it, okay? Now, again, with all your papers, you will have these three things. You'll have audience, format, and grading criteria. You are one of the primary audience members of this paper, so I do want you to consider that seriously because this is a reflective writing piece, which means that you're reflecting on your experience, whether that was good or bad, and considering how that's influencing you now, and that's really important to consider. The format, that's the way the words are arranged on the paper. It needs to be at least 750 words in an MLA format. I go on detail on how to do that in another video, but I do give you a little bit of idea here. Grading criteria, honestly, the first thing I'm just looking is to make sure that you turned it in. I don't really know how to help you where to start if I don't have a paper first. So that's the biggest thing to start with, is that that there's something there. The next thing I want you to do is to think about the model text that you're reading this week and implementing some of their strategies in your writing. So You know, is there, there's a moment in the end of Sherman Alexie's literacy narrative where he kind of reflects on, he has this like ending scene and he reflects on, you know, what it is he's doing now with literacy, and it's sort of inspiring and empowering. So can you take that sort of idea and have that in your ending paragraph? Can you have an inspiring ending, you know, kind of story that you tell? Okay. So that's what I mean by that. Look at the different narratives and how you can incorporate their ideas. So the other thing I would really like for you to do, and do for all papers, is to run your paper through some grammar and spelling checker. So Grammarly is free to download. I use it every day, pretty much with every writing thing I do. I download it to my browser and it does it from there. If you don't want to download Grammarly though, most software applications will have a some sort of grammar spelling check, and that's a pretty easy thing to do, and it's an okay thing to do. I really want you to know that like that's an okay thing to do. I can usually tell when students do that or not because I get things like capitalization errors that shouldn't be in there, you know, periods out of place and things like that. So that would be definitely something that you want to do. Okay, I'm just going through the rubric right now. You should find this when you open up your page. The first one is just that basically, first criteria I'm looking for is that it's an MLA format. And like I said, that's in another video. Content, that's what we talked about. There's 5 senses. You brought me in somehow with your 5 senses. There's a clear moral or theme that's identified about your journey with literacy, and there's a logical order to how you told your story. And it's obvious that there's some implementation of strategies. And then the last one is just no distracting errors in grammar or spelling. So all of those are things that you could kind of see in the assignment sheet, but they are definitely laid out here in the rubric. So if you have questions, I will be happy to answer those. I will have office hours. You can meet with me and show me first drafts or 0 drafts or wherever you want to do that. You can also send me papers if you want to get my feedback. I will give you feedback on it one time, like per paper. But sometimes that's helpful to know, am I on the right track or not? I'm not going to pre-grade your paper, but I will give you sort of an idea of some things to think about. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions. Look forward to seeing what you write.